Road made this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to both Zir Talks and Football Rig as usual. And welcome to BINS YA AKHI episode 13. You know, we're here. And we're here to be chatting about events that's been going on about around all over the game. I'm not going to lie. A good portion of it has to do with the Middle East. I'm not even going to cap. You know what I'm saying? But listen, while we're here, you know what I mean? It's only right that I introduce my co-panelist, Football Rig. You know what I mean? How are you doing, Sami?
Tahiyati, man. I'm doing great, bro. Jaman Barak Alek and to everybody. Man, I hate this international breaks. It takes the
the
fun
only
out of,
thing important to me right now is the Mantakhab. Other than that, really, it's just it's on
Yeah,
like
man.
Germany on the side.
So they struggled against Indonesia, but alhamdulillah, they got the
we'll
wins.
talk about a little bit in the end, you know, because we have important things to talk about. But before we get there, you know exactly what to do, people. Subscribe, like, comment your way. Go check socials. Inshallah, you're well wherever you are. Now, Sam, you know what? I'll let you pick. Do you want to talk about the Man United investment or the Arsenal investment?
Well, I would like to start with my club, of course.
Okay.
Always, man. Always gonna put Arsenal first. Regarding Arsenal's investments, okay, there are two investments that is happening in Arsenal Football Club. The first one is towards the Emirates Stadium, the expansion of the Emirates Stadium. So there's some solid news that Arsenal are looking into expanding the capacity of the stadium from 60,000 to 70,000. So that's a 10,000. More fans they can attend. Meanwhile, it's still in the conceptual phase, in the designing phase. There's no solid agreement or green light from the board or even from the project management that they are, attending to this project. However, I think it's doable. It's just from what I read, there are a couple of engineering challenges because the design of the stadium itself is quite difficult to expand. So they will look into that, and of course they will do some sort of feasibility study and see how they can expand the stadium. I'm gonna do some numbers later on. I want to check if we do increase the capacity from 60 to 70,000. I want to see the kind of revenue, just an estimation. Of course, I'm not gonna get it correct, but I'm gonna get an estimation. Because the prices are different from a season ticket holder to the guys who attend match by match, or even the tournament itself. If it's the UCL or the Premier League, it's different, and also the category of the ticket itself. Like, I don't know, is it gonna be like the sort of VIP or whatever? I don't know really the category, so I'm gonna run the numbers and see how it goes. But eventually, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna take some time, and I think Arsenal will move to Wembley temporarily until that renovation and the expansion happens, just like what happened to Tottenham Hotspur when they built their stadium back in 2018. So they moved to Wembley. So in a similar manner, Arsenal are going to move to Wembley. I think I don't know for how long, maybe a season, 6 months. It depends on how long this project will take. So yeah, that's regarding the expansion. What are your thoughts? It's going to be like 70,000 capacity.
I was actually pretty shocked when I heard this news because the way I see it is, do you really need to worry about stadium expansion right now?
Yes.
Like that's my honest take, because the way I see it, how much does it fill in your stadium at the moment currently?
60.
Which is not bad. Let's not lie, it's not bad, right? I
What's the
feel like
capacity of Allianz Arena?
75,000. But anyway, but anyway, my thing is here is like, when you do the whole stadium expansion thing, it's gonna
Okay.
kind of cost you down the road. If you don't win, that's my only thing. You know, I think right now you need to focus on like winning.
Yeah,
Then
I agree
so
with you, Zir.
that,
I totally agree with
that
you.
that is my thing. I'm not
Mm.
gonna like. I'm not even saying this out of an agenda. I'm not saying this out of anything. I know people will be like, Arsenal. Trust me, I would like to do that type of stuff. But if we're being objective here, it's the honest truth. It's just like, as like, don't get it twisted. Is it amazing that a lot of people are going to games? Trust me, I can't understand how it feels as a Hilal fan, and even as like a Saudi fan that went to us be playing against Argentina. I understand, you know,
Hmm.
that going to a game, moments. I understand all this, but people need to understand a moment to me. Yes, it's a moment, but does it mean anything if you don't win? You get me?
Again, I agree with the part that this investment should not interfere with the allocation towards the investment of the first team, and I 100% agree with that stance. I'm not going to disagree. However, which is a good segue to the next thing in the Arsenal investment, which is the extension
Extensions.
of the
Yes.
contracts, right? So they are extending the contracts, they are improving the salaries. However, when it comes to the transfer fees that is, allocated for the summer transfer or whatever, I cannot say from now how much Arsenal has and can spend. But if it's impacted, then I don't think it's a good investment in the short term. However, this is a long term investment because your ROI, which is the return of investment, is only going to break even after a couple of years because you're going to spend, from what I read, is half a billion, right? It's going to cost us half a billion with a rooftop and all that stuff and all the renovation they want to do. They want to, but at the end of the day, I think it's good, man. I think it's good for Arsenal Football Club, 70,000, and don't forget that Arsenal and the Emirates Stadium having the highest ticket in the whole of Europe. So I think the return on investment would be very, very fast. Now, when it comes to winning, it is important, yes, because at the end of the day, what is more important, just the revenue from the fans coming into the stadium, is your merchandise, right? You want to sell more shirts, you want to sell, you need to have that kind of global presence. So in order for you to increase that global presence, then you need to win, like you said. And I totally agree with that part. So this is how you expand as a fan base, right? And this is how any football club, a big club, are strong financial because of their global presence. And Arsenal needs to do that because the youngsters that are coming up and coming, I would say, like fans, football fans, you can see them now supporting Man City, supporting Barcelona, supporting Real Madrid, and rightfully so, because those teams are winning and they are producing really good football, and they're producing stars, and so at the end of the day, Arsenal need to think in that manner, and I think they are, because of the I mean, investment on the players that they have right now in the first team. And we'll talk about it more. I just want to hear your thoughts about what I just said, and then we can talk about the extension of the contracts of the players so far.
Nah, listen. Listen. If you think they're in a winning direction, then fine. But again, action will speak louder than words eventually. You get what I'm saying? So, yani, listen. I'm not gonna act like you did nothing this past summer because you did a lot. I'm not gonna act like you done nothing this past summer. All I'm just saying is, like, in case something goes wrong this season, you
Hmm.
should be more focused on the footballing aspect of what's going on in your club rather
Hmm.
than the whole expand. Like, in my personal opinion, the way the Emirates is, maybe outside looking in, maybe you have to give me the details. It doesn't even look bad. Looks very good. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it would be nice to expand, and obviously, it
But
would
don't
be nice.
forget, we have like 100+ requests on the season ticket. The
Is
people
that?
that want to actually, more than 100+ that are still waiting. For one of them is sad, by the way.
No way. One of them is sad.
Yes, one of them is sad. So I think they're recognizing that once they expand the stadium, there's going to be always full, regardless if it's just fans, because the allocation for and the demanding from the UCL, also from the Premier League, from what I've seen the stats, is 5% away fans, and around 25% are people who are buying ticket match by match, and the rest, which is 65%, I think, is
Season
occupied by season ticket holders. Exactly. So they want to ramp up that season ticket holders, I think, and I think they've done this feasibility study, and they've seen, okay, if we do this, and it's going to cost us $500 million, the return on investment is going to be like a couple of years, so it's worth it at the end of the day from business perspective, money wise. And after 5 years, let's say the break even is after 5 years, then you're going to start generating not just revenue, you're going to start generating profit out of this, right? And that's how any American corporate works in business. I mean, ask me, because I'm working with an American corporate. This is how they think from a business point of view. Now, I hear the part, which is the footballing perspective, that we need to win. We need to invest more in our team to actually win titles and all. And I totally agree. And I don't want this to impact that, right? And
Yeah,
I
that's
think they're not moving towards that, because Arsenal are in a good position to actually challenge. We are currently sitting atop of the league, and I hope we do win the league, man. I really hope so. And I think if we do, we're going to continue, moving towards dominating the league domestically and going and try to aim for the UCL. We need to start thinking of the UCL because we never won it. So that's my
yeah.
thought about that.
But it's not even just UCL. Like, obviously, because the way I view with the UCL, I feel like if your players, let's say hypothetically this season they won the Prem.
Mhm.
Okay? They win the Prem.
Mhm.
Now they have that Prem, so they have an understanding of winning something.
Right.
And they bring it into the following season, in which they, let's say they go again for the league, or let's say they push more for cup competitions, like how maybe they win the league and FA Cup, like
Yeah.
whatever, whether it's that or only the league, whatever, right? But then they push more. Now
Mhm.
that gives them more of a thought, because by the way, that's what I feel like is happening to my current striker, Harry Kane, right? Now it
Okay.
gives them a mentality of like, on a motivation, like, you know what? I think now we can go for that now. And now you're gonna see a different level of form out of these guys, you
Mhm.
know. But this is why Arteta better win that league, because if not, kiss goodbye.
I totally agree, man.
You see what I
Listen,
mean? It's a whole trickle effect, Habibi. That's what I'm saying.
it
Like,
is, and I told you this before. It's very difficult to actually reach to the top, but what's harder is to maintain that, right? You can achieve the league, whatever, and you can win it, and you say, okay, I've done it. But to keep doing it and dominating is the hard part, because if you look at through history, I'm going to talk about the Premier League, for example. If you look at the Premier League history, if you're going to look at the clubs that won it back to back, they're not a lot. There are not a lot. I haven't seen it, but you can actually search it and see how many clubs actually win back-to-back leagues. It's not a lot. It's not something that is very common and very easy to do. And I think Arsenal are aiming to do that once they get their first, league, let's say, in 2 decades. And of course, after that, which they should aim for the UCL. But however, what makes me really believe so far is how we are moving in when it comes to dealing with the players' contracts. For instance, now Urian Timber has been so consistent. He's been so good with the Arsenal Football Club, and I think hello, bro, hello, I'm Cam, and I think being in that position where they are preemptively going towards those players and say, hey, listen, we see you, we recognize you're doing well, and here's a new contract. And for example, it doesn't have to be an extension. In I'll give an example. Raya, for instance, Raya did not extend. Raya just signed an improved contract from whatever he was earning towards something more, but the duration of the contract remained the same, which is 2028. Timber, I think he's going to have an extension. And now they're looking at Odegaard, for example. So you can see that they are recognizing the players that are actually key parts in the first team, and they're having their role in the team, and they want to keep them and maintain them. and make them feel that they are recognized, and they are also showing the other players, if you do well, Arsenal Football Club will reward you with a better contract. And this is what I like to see. I don't want to have some bums like Havertz earning 280 and he's like the top earner in my club, or somebody like Gabriel Jesus, who's almost non-existent because of his injuries or whatever. So for me, you need to free up those wages and give it to somebody, someone who's actually worthy of those
Yeah,
wages.
deserving, but loved.
Yeah, man, and I think it's very good what we're seeing from Arsenal, because in the past 15 years, from what I can see, we used to sell our players, right? We had Alexis Sanchez, we sold it to Manchester United because they have had high wages. We had Fabregas, we sold him. We had Samir Nasri, we sold him. We had many players that just, when they start, you see their development go towards an upward trajectory, and you can see there's a high potential from these players. We start selling them because we couldn't compete with the giants of that time, which is Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, and all that stuff. And so I'm happy that we are behaving differently. I'm really happy we're behaving differently. And by the way, MK, we're going to talk about
Yeah, we're
Manchester
gonna talk
United.
about that bad show. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were going to talk about it in a bit. Stay tuned, bro. So at the end of the day, I think you also recognize this, that you are seeing that Arsenal are doing something towards winning. And is it going to happen under Arteta's tenure? Yet to be determined. I cannot say it will,
Yeah, it's unlikely, but we'll see.
but there is a possibility. There, it is within the realm of possibility, right? And I'm hoping it's completely hopium at this point of in time. However, I have to believe. I have to look at my club and say, okay, you got to believe they can do it. So let's hope they do it. If not, thank you, Arteta, for putting Arsenal at this position, and let's get another coach that actually can get over the line.
I get having faith, but we can't be having blind faith.
I have the faith in my players, bro, not the coach.
Okay, well, that's a different conversation, because I was gonna say this manager has shown for like 6 years, or actually, I don't want to say 6 years is too much, because let's be honest,
He challenged
he's
for
only
3. So this
challenged.
is
He's
3.
challenged realistically for, was it 23,
3
4,
season.
3 years now, and now 4.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the 4th year. If this brother can't do it, خلاص,
Yeah, I totally agree. 100%.
just get, bro. It's just خلاص now. We've seen enough, bro. Realistically, I'll tell you something. You're gonna say, "Oh, it's reactionary." This, that. Bro. Clubs outside of England, usually after one season, مع السلامة, bye bye. Ahmed Rabbo, he has 4 years. I know people say 6, but 6 is when he first started. To get him even to. But like realistically, since challenging, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Not man. I don't think there's many managers that get this. But the problem is, I think why he's getting these chances, obviously, first of all, is because of the fact of he got you from being 8th to where you are now. But I also think why he's getting this job, and I think why there's a lot of league gunner, likes to say, top gunners right out there, because let's be real, in England, للأسف, there is this mentality of like, oh, this guy could be the next Arsene Wenger, or that guy can be the next Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, the PR is insane. Yeah, the PR is insane.
But let's be honest. Like, what's the chances of that happening? It's very rare. And then there's a third reason as well, and they'll be like, well, look at Zidane. Yeah, look at this guy. He was once a legend that become man. Not like Arteta was ever a legend, but you know what I mean, player of the past, becoming manager, and he won back-to-back Champions Leagues, which is great, amazing. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I think he's one of the better managers out there to even look for a lot of clubs, but obviously he decides to go for France, whatever, right? But the thing is, though, people forget what he did in La Liga, which was not the best. Only 1 out of 3 years which he done well.
Yeah, it's fair.
So it's like people, when they are analyzing the whole managerial situation, I feel like people are not analyzing carefully enough, and they're just coping. That's my honest thought, bro.
We'll see about that, but
listen, he better win, bro, because this is the last chance. If
I totally agree, man. I've been Arteta out since last year, but he's still here. But
yeah, well, it's one of, bro. Yeah, bro. It is what it is, man.
It's fine, man. I gotta live with it. But tell me about the tweet from Turkey Al Sheikh. I read
What?
today he was clarifying his position and saying that he didn't mean stuff, but what he meant is there was an
Somebody
investor
else, and he hopes
from,
that he's doing.
yes, somebody else. So he was clarifying that it wasn't Turki Al Sheikh himself, but he clarified there are ex-investors from Emirates. Is it a group of people? Is it an individual? We don't know, but somebody with an Emirati passport are in advanced negotiation with the Glazers to obtain or to to purchase the whole shareholders of Manchester United. What do you think about
Uh,
that?
I'm gonna be really honest.
And will it
Initially,
contradict, because both Manchester United and City are going to be owned with the same government, basically?
it depends because you know how Emirates work. Emirates is like each Emirate has its own monarch, which is very weird.
Yes, but
like يعني
ultimately,
مثلا ابو ظبي
they all
عندهم
answer.
شيخ منصور وبعدين دبي زايد it's in Emirati it has 7 Emirates and they have their own, so it's a bit different. But what I will say is, to answer your question, here's my initial thought. Initially, when the first news come
I'll
out,
get I'll get actually the tweet. If you can get it out, that would be nice.
I'll do it because
The last tweet where he clarified.
I want to show both tweets actually, because
Okay.
the last tweet actually, I even then I actually thought it was still him. I thought he was capping. Wallah al-Azim, I thought he was capping.
No, I think it was genuine. I think it was genuine by
No,
saying it's not.
because you know how they are. Sometimes they don't wanna take the whole spotlight to kill. You know how it is, bro. Like, and plus you also have to understand, bro, because I follow up on like WWE and like even
Mhm.
like the whole boxing, like the whole WrestleMania stuff. He on Snapchat he leaked the whole WrestleMania thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's how the news got spread. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So the
Hmm.
reason why I still thought it was him is because he has a big mouth and he's had ambitions on top. You know what I mean? But it turns out it's Emirat. Like even during the heavyweight show that I do weekly, um, basically, I initially thought it was still him. Basically, only like till like this morning, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I have to put the fries in the bag. It's actually not him. You know what I mean? So this is his account, guys. You know what I mean? So this is his account. So obviously this is the whole Real season that started today, all that stuff.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And he's tweeting about WC. He does WWE stuff. But where is that tweet in which because he did tweet somewhere. It was like day before, wasn't it?
I'm not sure when was it, but I've seen it was in English. He tweeted
لا
it
لا
in
كان في
English.
واحد في العربي and you can translate it. على فكرة كان في واحد في العربي you
Yeah, yeah,
basically
but the one I think I read was in English, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't like trans. Oh wait,
لا
there we go. There we go. That's the one. Yeah,
ايوه.
that's the
So
one.
this is
Yes,
the post he put yesterday, and I even responded to it.
yes, that's the one I was talking about.
So let's zoom so people can read clearly. Tamam. He said, my yesterday's post about Manchester United's potential sale meant one thing. The club is in an advanced negotiation phase with a new investor. Just to
Yeah,
clarify, I am not the investor, nor
there we
are
go.
they from my nation. So he clarified that, and it turns out it's Emirati. I'm posting this as a fan who wishes the deal to happen, though it might not necessarily. So clearly, what I am saying is true that he has a big mouth because he's saying this as a Man United fan.
كب العشاء.
بالضبط قبل 10 ونص. You know what I mean? Abu Nasser doing a bit too much there. So yes, but initially he was actually insinuating that was himself. That's the problem in the beginning, and then he puts this out. But even when he put this out,
No, even the first post was not really insinuating that he
I
himself
think
or.
it was, bro. Like he didn't, maybe he didn't mean to do it, but again, bro, it's about the delivery. It's about the delivery, man. You know what I mean? Because you need to understand. Sometimes, oh shit, I put myself. Where is the camera of both of us? This one. Yeah, you need to understand. Like sometimes when you deliver things in such ways, people will start talking and they'll think and then talk. Obviously, you know what I mean.
Yeah, they'll
So
speculate. They'll try to speculate the
exactly. So
intentions.
my side of the speculation, and based on what I've followed up on him in other sports, like I don't know if you have, but I've been to some of his boxing events. You know, I've been to the wrestling events that he's done. You know,
No, I haven't been.
and all this, and there have been some like other events that he's done that I've been to. Right, I've been to the first UFC that they all started in Real. Right,
Okay.
this was 2 years ago. Yeah, last year in the slave. Right,
Hmm.
so my thing is when I saw this, I'm like, is he insinuating himself? Because usually when he speaks, he's talking about stuff that he is doing, you know,
Hmm.
which الله يعطيه العافية, you know what I mean? But and then there was no. I remember as well that even when he did this clarification, there was no clear indication that it's Emirat. The Emirati thing came out of nowhere. Like at least from my perspective, I don't know if with you. For me, it came out either last night, which I didn't notice of, or like this morning.
Yeah, it was in the past 48 hours or so.
So what? But I noticed this morning more than any other time. That's why.
Hmm.
So I initially thought that it was Turkish Sheikh all this time. But regardless, it's still an Arab investor. Doesn't matter. It's one of the Arab investors, and
But
it's
again,
clearly somebody that he
I'm
knows
surprised
well.
it's Emirati because because of their ties with Manchester City. It kind of builds a conflict of interest. I know that Emirates are consisting of multiple Emirats, and each one has its own governor or whatever, but still, they all are basically the same entity.
Yeah, I understand this. Uh, I I think the fact that it's different Emirates, like it does. I don't think that really
It's like
matters.
somebody is buying this and his cousin buying the other. I mean, man,
Okay, okay, yeah, خلاص. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, it's like me supporting Bayern and my cousin supporting Arsenal. خلص، تفضل. There you go.
yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
You
And
know
then
what I
I
mean?
don't
Or
know.
me being a Hilali, my cousin being a Nasrawi. This is what I'm saying. فيعني, realistically speaking, that's why I'm saying it's not really a relevant thing to say. You know what I mean? If this
Mhm.
was, if this, let's say if it was the Saudi government, okay, and they had like, let's say they had Newcastle now, okay, and then on the other they have a fucking Sunderland as well, because obviously they have their own rivalry. Now you're like conflict of interest, okay? And I understand. But realistically, in this case, because there's so many different emirates, you know, and there's so many different governing bodies in one country, that's why I don't think that point is really relevant. فهمتني?
I hear that. I mean, it's like saying us and for example, Arsenal Football Club and Liverpool both are American owners.
Yeah. But
So
anyway, realistically speaking, do you think so? How like analyzing the whole situation here, like, do you think that they will be able to get? Because remember, Jassim, if you remember Sheikh Jassim, he wanted Man United, and
yeah, I
he's
remember.
been expressing how much of a fan of the club he is, just like Turkish Sheikh just did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I remember.
unfortunately, in that stuff, he couldn't get Man United. And I think Man United missed out on the Glazers missed out on a big opportunity with Jess. Do you
Yes.
think they'll make the same mistake with whoever this is?
Well, I think it's gonna go either of one of two ways. Here's a scenario number one: is the Glazer will do the same stunt they did with the Sheikh Jassim, which is increase the evaluation of the club and then sell a portion of the shares by increasing that. So let's say the club uh, actually worth, let's say, 4 billion, just for the sake of the argument. But the bidding came into 5 or 6 billion. That means the 20% or 25% of the shares, or whatever percentage from the shares, are going to be based off that last bidding, which is the 6 billion, and then sell it to another investor like Ineos or whatever, and they're gonna give him some bullshit and tell him, okay, we're gonna run the logistics side of Manchester United, whatever. And that's one scenario. The other scenario is they are really interested to sell the club, the Glazers. And if the Glazers are interested to sell the club, then they will get the highest amount they can, 5, 6 billion, whatever, and they will actually sell the club. But I don't know, man. For me personally, if I was a Manchester United fan, I would rather see the Glazers sell the club, and especially if it's an owner from the GCC countries, like Emirates or even Qatar or anything from those countries, even Saudi, because of a reason which is the Saudis or the people from the GCC. You're muted, by the way. The people from the GCC are quite serious when it comes. Once they acquire the club, they actually spend and invest in the club, and they want that club to actually win. And we've seen it with PSG, we've seen it with Manchester City, and now we are seeing it even with Newcastle. I mean, yes, they're selling some of the big players, but yet they are going back in the market to get somebody who's equivalent in terms of talent, so that they don't drop off. They're not a club like Brighton. They just want to get young talents, and for 10 million, then sell them for 100 million. That's not the goal there from Newcastle. And the goal there is to build up a team that actually can challenge and contend for the league, and actually start winning trophies. They won their first trophies, I don't know for how long, for 30, 40 years, Newcastle, and they were so happy about that. And I think the PIF, for instance, are not satisfied with only that cup. They will push for more. Similar in PSG, they got the first Champions League, and yet they are pushing for more. Say, okay,
Yeah.
go get the second one now for us. And Manchester City, they got the 4 Ps, they got the triple, and they got the triple with Guardiola, and now they're pushing even for more. What is more, than achieving a treble? What is more to actually win there? So the ambition is
Legacy,
so
man.
high. The legacy, exactly. That's what they want. They want the legacy of the football club to be remembered across history. And this is why I think it's a good thing for Manchester United as a football club. But as a business, I don't know if Glazers will do that, man. I really don't know. Not sure if they're gonna sell. They did this stunt with the Qataris, and they did
And they
them dirty,
found
to
out
be honest.
real quick what happened. Then, they found out real quick. Because, by the way, I don't know if you've
And they were
tried to.
gonna clear the debts, man. Imagine that. They were about to clear the
Yeah,
debts and everything and start fresh with the Qataris, but yet they refused. I mean, what the hell, man? That means you don't
bro.
care about how Manchester United ends, man.
I tried telling people, okay. I tried telling people, and I'm sure you'll agree with me.
Mm.
If you waste any of these owners' time or whatever, any of these Middle Eastern people's time, generally speaking, they'll just dip. They don't care. Like they're not here to waste time. They have other things to worry about. You get me? Like that's how we usually think. It's like we want something, and if we can get it, we're gonna get it. However, if let's say we don't get it, and you're just playing around stalling, we just dip. خلاص. ما لنا فاضي لك ترى. That's how
Yes,
we.
yes.
That's what it is, and I've been trying to tell people this because a lot of people, it's just like, well, you know what? Yeah, well, you know what? These guys, well, they have money, so they'll just easily get this, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? But for me, it's like, yes, you'll get it. And I do agree 100%. If they want something, they will get it. But if they don't, they're dipping right away. They're not wasting time begging. You know what I mean? Because,
100%
by the way,
agree.
with Sheikh Jassim, why he took a bit longer with the whole thing is because he really wanted to build Man United back because he loves Man United.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Yes,
mean? That's what.
there's passion. There's passion
But
there, man. And I.
like for example, if you remember with Newcastle, مثلا,
Mhm.
when we first wanted Newcastle, initially when they didn't want to sell or the Premier League didn't allow sell, what did he do? Mohammed bin Salman قال مع السلامة. We're not wasting time. We are not
Yeah.
wasting time with this. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And
Mhm.
then next thing you know, they get back in for it because now there's like less restrictions. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In the whole process. So then eventually the whole thing got over the line because of Amanda Stavely and all that. Her group helped getting it done, whatever, right? So now it's there, but now there's restrictions even in transfers and all that stuff. You know what I'm on about.
No, but
So
that came before the acquisition of the PIF of Newcastle, which
yeah,
is
but my
the
point
FFP
is
and the.
like the reason why I bring this up is because of how we think. You know,
No, because this you know when
few
Manchester
people.
City came to the scene in back in 2008, I remember, or 2007, something like that. That's when the Emirates acquired Manchester
Yeah,
City. Man, they were spending like crazy, man. They were getting
yeah,
Rubinho, Yaya Toure, Tevez, whatever players they can put their eyes on. They're just getting those players, and their club is not really generating that revenue to cover it, which is fair, because at the end of the day, if the owners are, let's say, billionaires, and not country like Emirates or something like that, non-government affiliated individuals, I would say, then those owners would definitely acquire some loans from the banks, right? And in that case, you will go to bankruptcy. You're definitely going to run the club to bankruptcy. And I understand, the reasons behind those rules and regulations and constraints they put. And it's not just to protect the integrity of the league, but it's also to protect the football club from being bankrupt. But at the end, and also it's like, you going to Ultimate Team, spending all this FIFA point, and nobody has those players, and you're being shameless and getting all these decent cards, like Willie or whatever, getting Ronaldo. I don't know how the hell they get all these players so fast, man. They get all these
Pack
icons.
luck, man. Pack luck. It's just
Whatever, man. They're getting all these
pack luck or
players.
SBCs.
Anyways, they found a way to get that, those players, and now they're playing against people with golden cards, and you have all the million plus icons in your team, and any retard can actually play there and then win.
ايوه تفضلك تفضل ايه قل اروى تفضل.
I'm sorry, man. I'll take that back. But
شوف I've heard
anybody with
people
low
say it,
skill
but
can actually win with that team,
but you know what? One thing I will say though, أغلبية and those type of people, these man, you would imagine they don't shower, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Especially the ones that just, and I'm talking for people that live in Saudi, the ones that place an Ittihad badge on their team, those are like the most معرقين people you'll ever play with. But hey, anyway, that's a different discussion for a different day. You know what, man? I think one thing we could segue to, because do you have any final words on this, by the way?
No, but to be honest, I see it happening if the Glazers are really under heat and they're sick and tired of just drowning this club, man. This club is drowning, and the root causes of their issues, I don't think it's coming from a coach or players or anything. It's deep rooted, even from the hierarchy from the top. So I think in order for Manchester United to get back to the glories, I think they need that move, regardless if it was the Emirati investor or any other investor to actually change the club.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will say, though, the next conversation I want to have is about a specific club in Liverpool. They lost to a club in London, if you know what I mean. Is it crisis for Liverpool?
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Is it a problem at Liverpool? Or what do you think is going on here?
Ah, man, Liverpool are, something that you cannot predict nowadays. I had them as my favorites to win the league, and I still do, by the way, because of what Arne Slot did last season, and now he has all these good players that he signed, like Isak, Burrs, Frimpong, Kirkez, and he's not really getting a tune out of them for some reason. And I think ultimately he will, and they will click. And once they do, I think they're going to go on a crazy run, and they're going to be definitely challenging, if not even winning this league. But yes, they are in a crisis now. 3 losses in a row in all comps. That is 2 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League, and especially the last one with Chelsea. Man, that game, man. Did you watch it?
I was watching the FIFA, as you know, but I did keep up with the game a little bit.
That was a crazy game, man. It was a very open game from both ends, and I think it could have gone any direction. Liverpool could have won it, and also Chelsea could have won it, but Chelsea ended up winning it because in the second half specifically, Chelsea looked more enthusiastic and more, I would say the desire they had was bigger than Liverpool's to win it, and they pressed them so hard, man. They pressed them so hard, and their goalkeeper saved a couple of really good saves, but ultimately they got the last shot, and they killed the game in the last minute. And congrats to Chelsea. I said this even to Hanno. I'm so happy for them to actually win this game. It kind of puts a dip in front of Liverpool's path, and it hinders them. and I would love to see even Manchester United, even winning against them. This is what I want. I want Liverpool to get off our back.
Man, what's this? Before we continue, what's this? Hot take: in their prime, Xavi and Iniesta were better than Modric, but consistency-wise, yeah, but I kind of get that because obviously the Champions League thing that they've done, and I kind of get that. If you're talking in that perspective,
But
that's
if you're gonna get like combination of those players, what do you think? Who's the two players would you pick? If you have those four players, you have Xavi, Iniesta, Modric, and Kroos. So who's the two you're gonna pick?
All right. You're gonna call me crazy, but all of them are insane, by the way. Yeah,
No, they're all good. They're all good. They're all in high level. But
I am taking
Mhm.
Iniesta and Kroos.
Me too, man. Me too.
Like I'm taking them both. Really, like Modric, don't get it twisted. Modric and Xavi amazing as well, but I feel like with Kroos, out of the four, he's like the most underrated one. Because obviously he's the guy that dictates tempo, he slows the game down, and he tries to pick up passes. So not many people are fan of those, but I'm fan of those type of players. You get me? And I had him at Bayern, so I trust me. I know first. We have regret for losing that guy. You get me? So I'd say him and Iniesta. I feel like Iniesta and Xavi. When people talk about them too, they say Xavi, but Iniesta, what he did going forward was crazy.
No, I think Kroos is better than Xavi, to be honest. You're not wrong there. And Iniesta for me, I mean, I rate Modric, but Iniesta, man, was something else.
Iniesta was like Xavi he was dictating theirs, him and Busquets, but Iniesta was the one that was creating chances, bro.
Yeah, man, he was really, really good dribbling wise, vision and all that, man. I loved Iniesta when I used to watch Barca, man.
Yeah, by the way, Kroos can do the defensive work, and he's shown it towards the latter stage of his career anyway. So that balance works. But anyway, I'd say we move back on to Liverpool, Chelsea. But that's an interesting conversation to have one day.
Yeah, man, it is.
And by the way, listen. If this brother didn't get injured, I guarantee you he would have been in some conversations, especially in the Premier League, by the way. Thiago Alcantara. I'm telling you right now. Bro, do you see the talent that brother had?
Now that's a crazy take. That's a crazy take.
It is a crazy take, but hey, listen, I've seen this guy for my club.
Look, he's good. He's really good.
By the way, when he was injury-free at Liverpool, did you not see how he was balling out?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, he was good, but not in that level, bro.
No, I think. By the way, when we won the Champions League, he was that level.
Bro, I don't see them. I don't see him in Kroos and Xavi and Iniesta's.
No. I'm saying if he stayed fit, bro. The problem with Thiago, he didn't stay fit. That's what you're failing to understand.
Regardless, man, I think.
Anyway.
No, that's a crazy take, bro.
And guess what? I'm gonna stick by it, bro, because I would take him right now in my
low key. I think Fabregas is better than him.
I've had these arguments with my Arsenal friends and cousin. I say nah.
No, for real. I know that shows a little bit bias from my side, but believe me, he's better than Thiago.
I think Thiago was better to this day. I'm telling you, if Thiago was injury free. But to be fair, Fabregas was a baller as well. I'm not gonna act like Fabregas.
He balled out, bro. But at Barca, at Arsenal, at Chelsea. Call it, man.
Oh yeah, Ozil was disrespected at one point as well. Yeah, man, that guy is a shout as well. But again, guys, back to Liverpool and Chelsea, if you guys don't mind.
Liverpool, okay. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. Are they in crisis?
I think it's one of those situations. First of all, they really need Gahey more than ever, and so they're going to need to navigate their way into January. That's one thing. Secondly, is how you get there. How you get there, I feel like Arne Slot has to figure out something tactically. I just thought of this right now. They have two strikers. They don't really have a left winger, do they? Like they have Gakpo, and they have Salah on the right. But how are they gonna try to make all this work? You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
by the way, over time, listen, again, you're gonna say I'm shameless, you're gonna say this, whatever, whatever. But all the people making fun of me and gaslighting me and all that stuff. And to be honest, I get why, because when I watch him week in, week out now, he looks hot and cold. Trust me. But if we're talking in a balanced perspective, they could be doing with Luis Diaz. Balanced perspective.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know
That's
what
not
I
a
mean?
crazy take. Yeah, yeah, man. Luis Diaz is a big loss for them, bro. It's a big loss
By the way,
for them.
listen, I'm not saying this because I have him at Ban. Trust me, if you watch my watch alongs, reaction, whatever, I've said this guy shies away from being himself on the ball. He is a
Mm,
hit and miss guy. You know what I
mm,
mean? He is somebody that either will give you, you know, an amazing performance because he's brave on the ball and is like to be his man and likes to create chances, or he's one of them brothers that will, do the simple stuff, and then if he's in front of goal, he'll miss like a shit ton of chances. I'm the
mm.
first guy to say this. I have no problem admitting this. I'm just talking in a balanced perspective because one thing I'll give Diaz, despite me saying all this, at least he's giving us balance compared to what we had before. You know,
Look,
so
I don't think it's a crazy take because both Diaz better than Gakpo and Chiesa, so it is a big loss for them on that left wing. So you're not wrong there, Zero. I mean, I agree with you 100%. And you guys, how much you paid for him? 80, 80,
it's
75 million?
75 million.
Okay. So I think that was a good, I mean, good signing for you guys, to be honest. And I told you he would thrive, and you said you were not really that sure of him
I mean,
at the beginning.
it's hit and miss. But the only reason why I'm a bit more content is because the
But now,
balance.
what do you think now? Out of this small sample from the beginning of the season until now, do you think it was
Eh,
a good signing for Bayern Munich?
I think so far, because you have to understand, like something I've realized so far this season, the way we're playing, is
Hmm.
balance is very important. You know, um, and if we're talking about balance in a team, like that's why he's there's more positives than negatives with this guy, just based on the fact of he gives us the back, even though he's not our top signing, top guy. Yeah, no, obviously he's top signed by numbers of the price, but you know what I mean. Like he's not like an Ulisse type guy. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
he's not like somebody that's a killer 24/7. You know, but one thing he will give you is like somebody to facilitate for the other guy. You know what I mean? So for me, listen, man. Yes, I think so far he's looked okay. I'm not gonna say he's looked amazing because again, he's hot and cold. You get me? But I think that type of player is what they're missing. And again, uncomfortable conversations for Liverpool fans, but when they're saying Trent is a rat, Trent is a snake, Trent is this, Trent is this, are you missing him as well?
Seems like it. They didn't adapt to Frimpong yet. They're not
Eh,
even playing him. They're playing Szoboszlai in the right wing or
Right
right
back,
back. I mean,
but playing Connor Bradley at times as well.
yeah. Well, Bradley or Szoboszlai over Frimpong, which is a weird decision from Slot, is going with Szoboszlai and the right back rather than an actual right back that you obtained, which is Frimpong, and one of the best probably in Europe, I would say, in the past couple of years, couple of 2-3 seasons. I mean, he was invincible with in Germany. So why the hell are you not playing him? I don't understand that. Yeah, he's different profile than Trent, but I think his profile is also can be, he can adapt to Liverpool, and Salah can find him when he runs and overlaps on that right side. But he's not utilizing Frimpong. I think he had I think injury at the beginning of the season, but now he's fit, so I don't see why he's not playing him. And yet he's fit and he's not playing him. So that's the weird part for me.
Yeah, but as well. But by the way, to put in the perspective, didn't they lose to like a very like over the game during the game a weaker Chelsea side? Because
Look,
obviously
Chelsea.
they lost out on defenders. I think they lost Chalobah due to a red card. No?
Yeah, Chelsea defense are weak, and I understand that. But you gotta understand, Liverpool's attack are not really clicking. And what is worse in Liverpool is their midfield and defense are looking, funny. I would say when the spaces they have. I mean,
What Van Dijk did was definitely funny. Yes.
Yeah, bro, and you could have seen the goal from Caicedo, for instance. How can you allow a player to run all that distance without covering him? And he got that banger against them. And man, look, Liverpool needs to fix up. I don't know if it's the combination in the midfield, is the defense, and especially like Konate, for instance. He's not really having a good season. Konate is being really, his head is not there. I think maybe his head is in Madrid or something. But from what
Yeah.
I've seen, Konate was really bad. He had a lot of mistakes for Liverpool, which was rectified, I would say. For example, against Newcastle, he had a mistake, but yet they managed to win that game. However, this cannot continue because I said at the beginning of the season, and I got a stick for it on Twitter or on X, is Liverpool are running their luck for the first 5 games. It's a win. I'll give it to them. It's a win. Nobody can take that away from them. But they were really riding their luck, and people gave me a hard time for it. Say, no, you don't understand shit. Because when I saw Liverpool play, their wins, bro, last minute, they really did not look
Yeah, you're not
convincing.
gonna get them. You're not gonna get them on a consistent basis like this. Like it's
Exactly, and they were conceding a lot versus I would say low tier team. They were conceding a lot, and people, and yet they were scoring more and they were winning the game. I'll give them that, but this was alarming for me, But people chose to say no. We're winning 5 out of 5. We're on top of the league. That's fine. They even won against Arsenal. That's also fine. But you can see at least Arsenal, they only lost points versus Liverpool, where we lost, and versus Manchester City, where we drew. That's the only 2 games that we dropped points in all comps, by the way, UCL included. At
yeah.
least against the teams that were, relatively lower than us, we were winning. Against West Ham, against Leeds, and all these teams, we're winning. Convincingly, we're winning. Comfortably, we are winning. So that's what I want to see. We need to keep doing this as Arsenal Football Club. And I don't want this crazy stat that is the record of Arsenal versus the top 6 teams. I couldn't care less about that stat. I couldn't care less. I need to see consistency against those easier teams that you're dropping points. You drop points versus Aston Villa. You drop points against West Ham. You drop points against I can't even remember the clubs anymore, man. A lot. Brighton, for instance, we dropped points. So you cannot lose those points versus those easier teams. And
Burnley, by the way, was another. I mean, Burnley, Liverpool were about to drop, but then they didn't.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the end, who stopped Liverpool is Crystal Palace, and then they went to Turkey to play Galatasaray, and they got smacked. And now Chelsea, who are considered to be really weak defensively, they don't have really options. At the end of the game, Reece James was a center back. Reece James and Molo Gusto. What you talking about, bro? They were playing.
Actually, Kong in the end as well.
And some teenager. I can't even remember his name, man.
I think that's the guy. I think that's the guy you're on about.
What's his name again?
Achimpong.
Yeah, I think that's the guy. Yes, exactly. I mean, you are playing with people that we never heard of, as a defenders or right backs going to defend, and you're losing against them. That shows that you have serious problems. And speaking of which, what do you think of Verts and Isak so far?
Verts and Isak.
Because those two cost around 240 mil.
I think people are saying Verts is creating, but is he? I mean, do you think he's really creating?
009, so I don't see the creation.
No. Okay, enough of the banter. Like I want to banter, you know me, but
look, against Chelsea, I saw one chance created.
I saw that one because Bayern Space, the fraud, posted it and tried to act like that's really. I don't really think that's a chance.
It was like a back heel to Salah, and Salah.
Yeah. That's not really a chance creation. If that's what you're on about,
it was a chance, but that's all I
it
saw.
Was, but it's not Verts doing it by himself. That was health. I'm not even gonna lie. When I saw that, I'm like, that is pure luck, bro. I don't think he actually meant to do that.
Maybe
because he's reacting in the moment, bro. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but
like I don't think he just happened بالحظ. I think he tried to have a touch and it
But
slipped
there
off
was
his
like a
foot.
stat that I read. He created like 20 something chances.
No, there are people saying, but the problem is,
Hmm.
big up Yasser. He's a Chelsea fan. I don't know if you know Yasser TV. He brought a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
point. And this point is like, it's he said, and I quote, that basically the players are not really gonna play what they come in for, because obviously it's not on them that the players are signed like that. It's more on the agents, the clubs, blah 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 blah, right? So like he was not really too focused on price tag. He's more focused on like quality in it, which I understand, you know, like, but the way I see it is that if you're joining for a certain amount of money, you better perform, bro, because money is being thrown around. Like, obviously, listen, I get it. He's not wrong. It's really not on the player specifically. It's more because on the player's mind is like, I just want to go. I don't care. You know what I mean? Whereas when it comes to like the whole clubs and agent, now they're the ones that have to worry about it, right? And the club will end up suffering, and if the club end up suffering, then guess what? Now it has a trickle effect to whatever you do in the future when your investment. So it's like when you pay that much money, which, listen, I'm not gonna act like you shouldn't be doing that. I think you should be doing that, right? I am literally the whole anti-concept of being bank accountants for what you should and not be doing. I think if you have to spend the money, do it. The money's been inflated ages ago. At the same time, though, if you're gonna do it, be sure that you perform at the levels. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what it is for me. And he hasn't been doing that at the moment, and it's hurting him. Now, do I think he's gonna end up being worse than what he is? No, I don't. Eventually, he will improve. Eventually, he'll look like the guy that they got. Just like what happened with a lot of players. Well, the best example is Caicedo. People trolled him. Now look at him. You know, with Verts though, he needs to be quicker when it comes to decision making.
Hmm.
He just does.
He doesn't have that spaces like Bundesliga.
No, but you say that, but even in the Champions League against Galatasaray, he was like this. So now what?
I don't know, man. I totally look. I said this in Corpod to the guys. He's gonna be the flop of the season, and because of the price tag, you are not associating the price tag with a player decision, all that, and I understand that, but still, when you're buying a certain thing, let's say you're buying a car, for instance, and you're paying, I don't know, $500,000 or something, right? And the car has XYZ features in it, then you're expecting those features to work. So when you are buying a player with that amount from Bayer Leverkusen, and then you're saying, okay, this guy is gonna bang. He's the best 10 in the world. All the stats are saying this. All you know, the tacticians in the world are saying he's the best guy for Liverpool Football Club, and they go and spend 116 million pound, and
Yeah, it's
yet he's not.
116. My bad. I said
Yes,
50. After them, go on.
it could be in euros, maybe. No, in euros, even 130.
No,
I
no, no.
think.
It doesn't make sense in euros. That would be like what 126
Well,
or
I don't know,
130.
but
But yeah, yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I was wrong.
that's including the add-ons, by the way. 116 mil, which I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
is
I
true.
am aware. Yeah.
But anyways, when you're buying a player, like when we bought Declan Rice, for instance, when Liverpool bought Caicedo, these players they played up to that level at least. At least the fans are saying, okay, we spent that 100 million and it was worth it. It was completely worth it. You know, and you gotta and if you remember Ronaldo when he signed for Real Madrid back in '09, how much was it? Do you remember?
Ronaldo to it wasn't 100 million.
It
What
was
was it?
94 something million, I think. 90,
Yeah,
94,
I think
95
I think it was
million.
90 million because wasn't Bale 94 million?
But anyways, at that time it was a record deal. If you remember,
Mm.
it was a record deal at that time. So 90 million at that time, I don't know how much is it worth. I mean, nowadays, but at least Ronaldo, when he came, he banged. He instantly banged and we all remember Ronaldo when he wore the number 9 jersey. He was really good. He was really good. And the price tag does kind of put a certain expectation from the fans
That's the
and from
problem.
the media and everything, and you have to live up to it. You have to live up to it. I know it's not, the player did not choose to be bought for that reason.
Hopefully that's true, but yeah, I know the 100 million is true. By the way,
I think 94. What I said, 94. I think million euros. I think I can't, but I remember the 94
94
million.
is Bale, and I know Bale one. It was 94.
Was
Bale
it
was
Bale or Bale?
Bale.
But anyways,
Yes, Bale was 94.
at that time, those amounts were crazy. They were crazy, crazy amounts. To pay 80 million or 70 million. That's even Zidane was the record at that time, 75 million euros, I think, from Juve. So, and they came with a certain expectation, and Zidane, when he came, he instantly banged at Real Madrid. Instantly he banged at Madrid. Ronaldo same. Declan Rice, I would say the same. Caicedo, he had a little bit of hiccup at the beginning, but he banged as well. So yes, when you are bought for that amount of money, you need to bang. Isak the same manner. We're gonna give him leeway because he didn't have a preseason, which by the way was his choice to not have a preseason with Newcastle because he saw himself above the club and all that stuff. And when he went to Liverpool, he looked so weak, physically speaking, and he's not up to fitness yet. So we'll give him a little bit of leeway. But Verse, I mean, there's no reason for him not to play at that level unless something is happening and Slot is not really utilizing him the best way possible, or the players got a head loss, or he's not really, he doesn't have the confidence and all that stuff. So
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. What's off topic? What do you guys make of the Mahu Nikota that plays for Al Ittifaq? I actually don't know much of him, to be honest.
I'm a Ittifaq fan, but I don't know shit about him.
I actually don't know too much on him. I'll keep up on him and let you know, bro. But I don't know too much on him, if I'm being quite frank and honest. But you know what? I think it's a good segue because to end it off, what do you think? What do you think of this national team that played against Indonesia?
They look shaky, man. They look
Yeah,
shaky. I mean, even the penalties they give was really silly.
Timbuktu, and
It was so silly. Even the other one, where he dived, bro. I never saw a dive like that.
yeah, but I'll be honest. I'll be honest. That one, I think Ahmed Ali had a not a he had a stinker, bro. Because I don't think that's a pen.
No, it was a pen. He
I
cleared it
don't
with
think
his hand. What you talking
no, you
about?
know what? No. You say it hit his hand, but I don't think his intention was to put his
I,
hand
I
forward.
understand the intention is not. Of
Like
course, the intention.
like he tried to head the ball. He
I
tried to head the
understand.
ball away.
I completely understand that. I know that's his intention was not to hit
But
it with
that's
his
why.
hand, but he
But
did.
that
What he did.
yeah. But usually what I'm trying to say is when you're going down, okay, when you're going down, it's beyond law of physics for it to be a natural contact. فهمت قصدي? That's my point. If he was doing this while standing, okay, I'm like أنا معاك. But بالله عليك, you're diving for the ball. You think he's trying to dive to hold the ball?
Yes, but the difference is that you went for the ball. It was not like a deflection that hit your hand, right? You
Yeah,
went
but he
for the
went
ball.
ahead of the ball.
Yeah, I understand. But you're the one who went for the ball, and for some reason, you smacked it with your hand. So that's
Yeah,
completely
but
on you.
you say that. Listen, for me, I just the one where I was like, you know what, the referee had a stinker, but turned out when I found out what really happened is fine, fair enough. Was
No,
the
I
Kenny
thought
red
the
card?
ref was good. No, I think the ref was
I
fair.
thought the ref was, I thought the ref was hit and miss. But initially, I thought he had an awful one. But then afterwards, I realized, yeah,
He
Ken.
followed all the protocols, bro. He let the game go, and then he went back to the
Well,
VAR,
actually, I
and
found
then
out from my dad why he got the red card, Kenno, the second yellow. It's because he said it's مجنون انت. He literally told him when he first got the first yellow, قال مجنون انت. So That's why he got the second yellow.
Well,
You need to
that's
be very
considered
careful with what you say to referees,
that's
man.
considered to be an insult. Yeah, that's considered to be an insult.
That's what I'm saying. So that I did not know that. I thought it's like, "Ah, مو كيف." You know, if you say that, I'll be like, okay, I would have
Yeah,
defended.
that's fair.
بس
But
بس قال مجنون انت. Like what? حمار.
are you
كله
mad?
حمار. You know what I mean? But yeah, listen. I mean, we got the win regardless.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, but we play Iraq, man. I don't know when Iraq play against Indonesia, but that game happens and then we play Iraq. If we win that game, we're through, alhamdulillah. You know? Do you think we'll win that game? I mean, we beat them last time in the Gulf Cup, but this is a different circumstance. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think
You
we
know?
will win. Yeah, I think we will win.
I think we should be able to win, man. You know?
Yeah. There's no reason for us not to win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's hope that if, let's say, Iraq win, that their goal margin isn't by too much, because I don't want to put us in a situation in which we have to, like, if, let's say, we draw, now it's...
Get the calculator, huh?
Yeah, man, you get me now. Bro, listen, regardless, we should take care of our own business, man. We should actually beat them
Yeah, I
next time.
100% agree.
But big up Abu Shamat, by the way. I thought he was our best player. Al Ahly player. If I'm not mistaken, Abu Shamat at one point was in Qadsiya, no? Abu Shamat.
No idea, man.
I'm gonna
the guy who scored the first goal.
Yeah.
He balled, bro.
And he hurt himself mid game as well. By the way, I'm searching him now because I want to see what. Oh لا عفوا. He was at Al Khalij. He was at Al Khalij, and he had a loan spell at Al Ta'awan. Interesting, very very interesting, wallahi. But he had a very good game. Very good game, you know. So long may this performance continue. You know what I mean? Because
not the performance, the results.
No, but we need that performance alongside some frauds that actually had a stinker. Salim, in my opinion,
Salim, yeah, I was gonna say it, man. Salim, he's so selfish, bro.
يتفلسف بالزيادة, bro.
Man, he was so selfish. A couple of times, man, I was like, "What the hell, man?" I mean, I know you're like the main guy, you're the number 10 and everything, but come on, bro.
Yeah, مو بس كذا. You see that score, the chance he had to score 1v1. If he doesn't score that, you know, or actually, I should say, if he scored that,
I think he had two.
Yeah, but there's I only remember one of them. He was in front of goal.
The one he wanted to chip.
A chip. That one, if he scores that, we're like 4-1 up, I believe. Now
not only that, the one where he shot, I think, with his weak foot.
Yeah, probably
should have passed it.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, big up Brakan as well. Even though I think the second goal he scored, he's lucky to even score it because he shot it at the keeper and the keeper didn't do better there. But yeah, big up anyway. Even the penalty, I think, because he slapped it so hard, the keeper couldn't save it. But whatever, we won. We just, I don't know. I just want to qualify, man. Just qualify, khalas. All is good. You get me? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, any final words, bro, before we end this?
No, man. I'm can't wait for this international break to be over, so we can go back to this to the leagues. And I'm happy that Saudi won, one step closer to the World Cup. And yeah, man, I want to see both the countries I rep there, man. Morocco's already there, so I want to see also.
I saw their friendly versus Bahrain yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, they won 1-0. So I hope both teams actually qualify because you know, I love both countries and I want them both to.
If I'm gonna be objective about Morocco very quickly, because I saw what Regragui said. You underestimated Bahrain. Tahmar. Imagine now you do this in the African Cup of Nations, which is exactly what they did the last time. Anyone that's Moroccan will know. This Moroccan team has a habit of underestimating anything that's in front of them. When you have that good of a side, like why?
Ego.
You can't do. Look, we literally went to the semi-final. Next thing you know, him and everybody else in that team in the African Cup of Nations the following
year. Bahrain was good, man. in the last
Who?
couple of years. Bahrain are playing very well in the past couple of years.
I
now.
know, but come on, man. Like, you can't be like. And by the way, that's the point. Actually, the fact that they played well a couple of years and you're still like underestimating it because they're Bahrain.
Yeah, you
You know
shouldn't.
what I mean?
You
It's
shouldn't.
like
No, you always have to respect the teams. In
I
front
know
of
it's a
you,
friendly, but
regardless.
يعني, you're trying to prepare for the African Cup of Nations. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you're hosting the competition.
And you need to win. I mean, there are going to be huge pressure on Morocco to win it.
Yeah, Regragui, if he doesn't win this AFCON, he's sacked.
He should be
And
sacked.
good. Bro,
I wanted him to be sacked right after the France game, by the way.
صدق.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was playing really good with certain tactics and formations, and when he played against France, he completely changed it. I don't get it. You go and win versus Portugal, and you go and win versus Spain. So when you have a winning formula, why the hell are you changing it? And I was watching that game.
Personnel?
I remember.
Did he change I don't think he changed much personnel, did he?
He did, and he changed also formation.
Oh yeah, true. Because he was more afraid of France. Because I remember actually
hell of that, bro. Just go and attack. I mean,
by the way, against Spain. But the thing is, he was kind of. I actually think he was pragmatic most of the tournament. But the difference is that pragmatism against the Spains, the Belgiums, the Portugals, and all them teams, he found a way to like place them in areas in which they can transition. Whereas against France, he didn't do that.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like by the way, all these games, we were the guys sitting back and hitting in transition. Every single one of them games. We weren't pushing for the wins. Let's not act like we were pushing for the wins.
I'm very upset with that. So that's why I wanted him sacked.
But for me, I wanted him sacked more so against when we are not
really sacked. Against South Africa, I think.
Yeah, bro. When I saw the
where's Hano?
Bro, against South Africa, I was it's not even just a Regragui thing. I think it's a whole Moroccan national team thing, like the players as well. Like Amrabat when he got the red card. Do you see the level of care this brother had? Barely any care. But he reminded me of Leroy Zane whenever he misses chances. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you wonder why United fans don't like you. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's just like these little things, man. You get me? It's just anyway.
I think he's done. I think he's done with the Moroccan national
team.
Bro,
bro, I'm telling you, if they don't win AFCON, bro, he is. Especially being hosts. And since 1976, they haven't won it. Yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked.
Yeah, he's screwed, bro. You need to leave. Believe me,
I know, bro. Yeah, man, step up your game. I don't know if you've had these conversations on Kura Pod, but this is definitely gonna be one important one, bro. You get me?
Yeah, we just stopped talking about it because Morocco already qualified, so they're all chilling.
Yeah, Alf Mabruk, but still, AFCON. I don't care. AFCON is a do or die.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But anyway, guys, who can we redirect to?
Before you redirect, guys, hit the like button, subscribe in both channels, and hit the like in both videos because we're doing dual stream. So,
speaking of South Africa, Hano is with Waffle Don right now, who's also an Arsenal fan. We're gonna go there, redirect. You get me? So when we get there, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press alarm bell, future content notifications, like, comment your way, go check socials, and inshallah, wherever you are. When we get there, Zir and Sammy raid. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, guys.
Rig raid.
And you know what?
What's with the sigh, bro?
I'm trying to pick a clip to play. You know what? We're gonna play this because this describes Liverpool Football Club. Take care. See you later. Zir and Sammy raid.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Assalamu.